Good evening, everyone. It is Thursday, April 29th. And can you believe it? We're at the end of April. We are counting down to the end of April is Financial Literacy Month. And if you've been following us, we have been focusing on financial literacy, financial wellness, and financial empowerment. And so for the last Thursday in April, it's going to be a phenomenal show. We have some dynamic guests that we can't wait to introduce. But before we get to that, let me bring in my co host, Megan Samuel Fields.
Good afternoon, Dorit, and good afternoon to our listeners and our viewers. Can't believe it's the end of April already.
Where did the time go?
1/3 of the year is just about gone. Can you imagine?
1/3. Can you imagine?
Oh, yeah. Time flies.
Well, it's a reminder that you have to live your life in abundance and live your life, with no regrets. Because time just goes by so quickly.
Surely does. If you have anything to do, go and do it because time is not going to wait.
Get started. Get stepping.
Get stepping.
Yep. So let's not hesitate because we have 3 dynamic guests in our studio. And we're going to invite them to our virtual stage. And let us start with Danielle. Danielle Jarvis.
Hi, Megan and Dorit. How are you?
We are doing great. And to everyone, today we have a focus on youthpreneurship. If you've never heard the word, pronounce it a few times and you'll be comfortable with it. Like it says, it's a combination of youth and entrepreneurship. So youthpreneurship. And we have Danielle. She is a youthpreneur and she has an amazing product, which she'll tell us about in a minute. But let me bring in our other guests. We have Shayna Court and we have Chaz Samuel.
Hello. Hi, everyone.
Hi, guys.
Hi.
So we're all over the globe.
Megan so true.
In Antigua. I'm in New Jersey. Danielle, you're in Maryland?
No, I'm in New York, actually.
Oh, wow. You're close. Do you live in New York?
Sorry?
You live in New York?
Yeah, I live in New York now.
Oh, I don't know why I thought you were in Maryland. Very cool. Where do you live in New York?
I'm in Brooklyn.
Oh, yeah. Right. Brooklyn's in the house. And Chaz and Shayna, where are you guys?
We're in Halifax, Canada.
Yeah. Fantastic.
That's Nova Scotia.
Megan, that's where Taurus Lego was from, remember?
From Halifax.
Yes. Before I even knew where the place was, we knew the song.
Yes, we knew the song.
That's
funny. But look at the power of technology.
I'm telling you, we're all over the world. And talking like we're in somebody's living room.
Exactly. That's awesome.
Hopefully we are in somebody's living room. But folks, we have so much to talk about today. So let's get right to it. Like I said, these young people are phenomenal. They have their own businesses, making waves out there in the world of business and moving forward boldly in growing their business. So let me start with Chaz and Shayna. Tell us about your company, No Days Off. I love that name. It is so catchy. It is, it's so memorable and still so, such a motivational phrase. So tell us about the business, how you got started, where you are currently. Can't wait to hear about it.
All right, thank you. So I think maybe Chaz will start with the genesis of it because it really all grew out from him, and then I can kind of take over in the end a bit.
Yeah, so how it started is pretty interesting because we never actually planned to start a business. How it started is that we came back from college. It was my first day of college in Halifax, and I came back to Antigua, and I went to watch a basketball game with some of my schoolmates that I played with back in high school. So after the game, we just started talking to each other, and they were kind of challenging me to start back playing at that time. So at that time, I wasn't playing anymore. I was trying to focus solely in school. So I challenged myself and said, you know what, let me start to get back in shape. So I think everyone in Antigua will know the court, JSC. It's in Clare Hall, a very familiar court. I went there every day and just gradually working on my game, working on my skills. And as we all know, Antigua is very small. So word gets around quickly. So one of the kids from the local community came and said, "Hey, Charles, can I start working out with you?" So me and him just started working out each day, every day. We never skipped a day. And then that particular kid went back to the village and said, "Hey, Chaz is doing a small workout at the Clay House at JSC. Sorry, if you guys want to come, you're free to come." So before you know it, there were like 10 to 15 kids that just ended up coming.
Oh.
So we kept going every single day. And really quickly, I realized to see that they started to actually improve as well. And then what really touched me is that some of the parents came up and said, "Hey, Chaz, I never knew my kid was even interested in basketball. I never thought he had the confidence. He thought he was too short."
Wow.
So I realized that, okay, it's really helping them, not just on the court. So at that time, we started going every single day, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. So we started saying the words, "No days off, no days off." It's a no days off.
How cool.
So at that time, I went to my girlfriend and asked her, what could we create or what could we do that they could wear in the chest for how they feel inside. So at that time, we're in like 30 seconds. We just came up with a logo and we say, "You know what, let's do some
30 seconds?
30
Literally.
seconds, yeah.
Wow.
That's amazing.
So this is the logo here that she created. And we said,
Nice.
"Let's do some shirts." We did some shirts, we handed them out, and we never thought about anything even up until that point. But then after that, some of the kids that actually got the shirts, it showed me how much it was affecting them. Just the shirt was affecting them, not even on basketball alone, but also in different aspects of their life. In school, they wanted to make sure they're punctual, all
Oh,
these different things. So then we said, "Okay, you know what? Maybe we do have something. Let's try something else. Let's try some caps. Let's try some hoodies." Fast forward, we came back to Canada to continue our studies, and we incorporated the company. And
nice.
just little by little, and now we have a full activewear line. We're doing a bunch of different other stuff as well, and we never really thought about doing a business. But even as we were doing it, even as we started the business, we still didn't know that it was a business until
Right.
you're 18 months in, and then you're like, "Oh snap! Oh yeah, okay."
Maybe not 18 months, but
we do have a business, so
yeah,
it was very organic.
exactly.
Wow.
That's fantastic.
Nice.
And as they always say, if you love what you do, you'll never have to work a day in your life. And you guys really embody that in how you approach this. You're having fun. And, overnight it morphed into a business. That's an amazing story.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
But
Shayna,
Shayna, I
what
have a
else?
question for you.
Right. Okay.
Was this your first logo? Had you created a logo before?
No, I have never created a logo before. I do love arts and craft and designing, and like
Okay.
when I was in high school, I took art, so I really am like kind of artsy fartsy.
Okay.
But I wanted to find a way that we can represent no days off, one symbol, because we know that logos can really grow the company or shine the company. And so we wanted to create something that can just stand on its own, where you don't have to say no days off. You can see the logo and know what it means. So we
Yes.
wanted it to have an N, a D that wraps around, and an O at the bottom. So by itself is an ideal symbol. But yeah, I think that maybe just came from the artsy fartsy part of me, where I do love like little drawings and paintings and stuff like that.
Nice.
Wow.
Nice.
That's amazing. That is I believe that once you're creative, you can apply it across so many different disciplines.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Mhm. That is so
I like
nice.
minds like that. And, you'll go far with that kind of thinking. But let me go over to Danielle. So tell us, I can't wait to talk about your product. And you have a similar story.
Yeah, so the name of my business, my brand is Bashful Body Care. And it actually started like about 5 years ago. I just didn't know it at the time. Just because, well, at the time I was living in Maryland. I think that's why you thought I was in Maryland
Okay.
still. At the time I was living in Maryland, and we had just gotten through another brutal winter, and my skin was just extremely dry and cracked up, and it even hurt to like flex my fingers at times.
Aw.
So I was like, okay, Danielle, you need to start taking your skincare a little bit more seriously, because yes, you grew up in the tropics, but you live in a colder climate now. So I started to do some research, read a couple books, I watched some videos, and then I decided I'd seen a video on cocoa butter, and I read up on some of the benefits that that cocoa butter has. Like naturally, it contains a lot of fatty acids, which provide really good moisture to the skin. So I said, okay, let me try it. So I tried it, and when I tell you, I put it on my skin, and it felt incredibly soothing and calming. And I was like, wow, this is a different type of, I never felt like this with all the regular lotions I used to use. So I said, okay, let me continue using it for like a couple months just to see if it actually, does anything. Because sometimes you use a product and you think it's working, and then after a couple weeks, it's not for you. So after a while, I was like, okay, I think I really like this. And naturally, cocoa butter smells like chocolate. So
Yes.
that and all that was something
Makes
that
you
really
feel
caught.
good.
Yeah. So I told my sister about it, and I shared some with her. I took some for my coworkers at work as well. I told a couple other of my family members and friends, and like I just kind of started making Christmas gifts. Like I would give people cocoa butter for Christmas and stuff, and they would always ask me, "Oh, where did you buy this?" And I was like, "I didn't buy it. I just made it." So
Wow.
That's
um,
amazing. What
yeah,
is in
so
cocoa butter? Tell me. I have no clue.
well, cocoa butter is just derived from the cocoa seed, really.
Okay.
So I don't do all of that. The part of it that I work with the finished actual cocoa butter that comes from the seed itself, and then I combine it with other butters and oils as well, just to, well, I kind of worked with it just to come up with a mix that I felt comfortable with. So yeah, so I did that, and then like over the course of the pandemic, is kind of when I started to learn about soap making, because I also make soaps, and I had a little bit more time since I was working from home, so I just decided, okay, let me learn more about soap making. And then I was speaking to a friend of mine. I said, I think maybe I want to start a business. Like I don't feel like this is something I just want to keep to myself. I feel like, maybe I want to share it. And naturally, for those people who know me, I'm a very shy and introverted person. So I just thought, maybe if I start this business, like beyond sharing the actual products that I'm making, it can like inspire people who are similar to me. Because I feel like some of us have so many great ideas, but we're so scared to share them. So
Bashful.
that was kind of how I came up with the name Bashful Heart.
Wow. Okay, I was wondering about that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
Nice.
That is nice. So
Wow.
tell me, Danielle, so you started off with cocoa butter, you went into soaps. So
Yes.
what type of products do you have? Just butters and soaps?
Yeah, so right now I have my cocoa butter, which is one of my best-selling items.
And Danielle, if you have product you want to show us, you can just put it up so
Yes.
we can see it. I'd love to see what it looks like.
Sure.
And I'm
I'll
thinking soap making, doesn't that require a lot of, what do you need? I mean, doesn't it require a lot of room? I just imagine a big spread with stuff you pour out.
Yeah, you do need a clean workspace. A table, I mean, a table or a desk is probably good enough. You don't need a crazy amount of space, but you do need a workspace. You need good ventilation as
I was
well.
going to ask about
Yes.
ventilation. Mhm.
Yeah, you really do need good ventilation. You need
And a big pot.
Yeah, you need a big pot. You need an immersion blender as well to help mix all the oils and butters and
Oh,
whatnot
wow.
together. So, and you
So don't
need
get
to
any ideas with a home blender trying to do this.
no, please don't. Yeah, you need to be properly
Caution.
protected because the solution is dangerous in liquid form, so you have to be extremely careful. Soap making is not hard, but you just have to be careful when you're doing it.
So let's see what you
so-
have. Your packaging. I went online and I looked at your stuff. It
Yes,
looks really
very
good.
nice. Very nice.
Yeah, so this right here is my cocoa butter.
It looks like Aveda products or something like that. It is great.
Yeah. So
And how
Yeah,
did you
it's
come up
not-
with your logo?
So to be completely honest, I don't actually have a logo
Okay.
as yet.
Yet?
That's still
So
something.
maybe you need to ask Shayna. In 30
Yeah, I was
seconds,
just
you're going to
going
get a
to say,
logo.
Right?
I was just going to say, Shayna, I might hit you up to help with that.
BBC.
Yes.
Yeah.
But this is my cocoa butter right here. This is one of the products that is pretty popular. I use
So
it
where
every
do you
day.
get your jars? You just buy?
I just get them on Amazon or Etsy as well as a good resource.
Okay. Nice.
You know, you can get a good amount for cheap. So, you know, I try to get the containers that don't contain like the toxins and stuff like that, so that it's, you know, it's good and it's safe.
Environmentally friendly.
Right.
So do you have any soaps that we can see, and what are
I
the
do.
different
And also,
fragrances?
are most of your transactions online or?
Yeah. So I do have a website. So
I did go to your website. It looks good.
yeah, people could just go to the website and you know, order what they would like. So I have as well.
Me, I'm thinking, a couple of years ago, all this was theory.
Yeah.
When not even when we were in college, 5-7
Oh
years ago,
my.
this is all theoretical about starting your own business
Listen,
and online business.
That looks like fudge, a nice swirly kind of fudge.
Yeah.
Chocolate,
So,
I mean, white chocolate fudge
I'm
swirled
telling
with
you.
something. That doesn't look like a soap.
yeah, so this soap is my background is really blurred, but this soap is my coconut charcoal swirl.
Oh, nice.
Coconut
So
charcoal.
main ingredients in this one are coconut oil and charcoal. And I chose to blend the two because charcoal has really good exfoliating properties. And it's also good for detoxifying the skin as well, as coconut oil is a really great moisturizer. So and this soap, it lathers really, really well. So this is probably one of my
Yeah, we like a lot of lather.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, and it has the scent of this one is a patchouli and lavender essential oil mixture.
I like patchouli. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't really know how to explain, but it smells really good. That's all I can say.
Nice.
And then as well, I brought with me I have an oat milk and cedarwood soap.
Cedarwood.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So these are in the shapes of flowers. So I really market this as a set with the cocoa butter. So if you go on the website, you would see it as a set.
And how do you get them in that shape? Is there a mold or you have to cut them?
Yeah, so I put these in a flower shaped mold, and like the coconut and charcoal soap I just showed you, that's a soap that's poured into like a rectangular mold. And I posted a video on my social media last night with me making the coconut charcoal soap. So people can see exactly how I do it. But so this is one of the other soaps that I have.
Nice.
Also, this has a really light creamy type of scent. It's a mixture of citrus and lavender as well.
Oh, nice.
All very,
Have you considered doing classes online, teaching soap making classes online?
I have not, but that's always an idea.
I would definitely, I'm not trying to make soaps for consumption. But I would take a class,
Yeah, it's fun. It's a fun activity. Very, for me, very calming. I feel like everybody has their thing that kind of relaxes them. So Yeah,
Nice.
That is great.
So
Thanks so much for sharing.
you're making money out of a passion that you have.
Absolutely.
yeah,
Turning
yeah.
This is
passion
good.
into
Also
profits.
a
Passion
passion,
into
yeah,
profits.
passion
Yeah.
project.
Nice, nice.
That is great.
Awesome.
You guys are so amazing.
Yeah.
But
Well,
Chaz
I
and
actually,
Shayna. Go
yeah, I
ahead,
wanted to
Megan.
go back. I wanted to go back to Shayna because Chaz explained how No Days Off started, but I know it has grown significantly. So I would love to hear part 2 of the journey.
Or maybe the mid, I'm sure there's several parts, but maybe part, the second step.
Yeah. So as Chaz said, we really started growing out from just a couple t-shirts and hoodies and expanded into activewear. And so we expanded into female activewear and male activewear. And not only did we expand on our online store, so just like Danielle, we created an online website. And I think that was something we're going to talk about because that was really like forced in a sense because of the pandemic to move into like an online platform.
Oh, wow.
So we ended up creating an online website. But then as we started moving out of the pandemic, well, I know we're kind of still in it, but as we start moving, forward a little bit, we were able to carry our lines into certain stores. So we have our line carried down in Heritage Sports in Antigua, and our line is also carried up here in a yoga studio. And then we're kind of branching out where we're looking to sponsor certain sports teams with NDO gear.
Whoa.
Really trying to sort of build the company more than just, where it started. And I think maybe even Chaz can talk about branching out into the fitness side of it. So maybe you can talk about a bit more too.
Yeah, so pretty much how it all started, it started through basketball, me just gradually going to the basketball court. So like that was all my love and passion. So when I came up here, I still did the same thing. And kind of similarly, it kind of had the same effect when I started training up here and started helping kids learn the fundamentals of the game. So on the NDO fitness side, we'd also branched off and we're also doing now classes for young athletes that want to get a little bit better, more understanding how basketball works, have some fun, get some exercise as well. So we've also now have the fitness side to the clothing side.
Right.
Wow.
Right. So you have like
awesome.
Is it like a clinic that you run or?
So right now, actually, we've partnered with the YMCA. It's the Y in Canada, and we're now doing a 6-week program for ages under 10, under 13, under 16.
Oh, that's amazing.
So it's going pretty well. A lot of interest, and can't be more happier.
And under the umbrella of NDO,
do they come?
On the umbrella, yeah. On the umbrella.
Lovely, nice. Mm-hmm.
Chaz, how many days a week do they come for training?
So right now it's Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Sunday.
Oh my goodness, that's pretty intense.
Yeah, it is.
No days off. Nearly.
No days off. You're not kidding.
I love basketball is my passion, so it doesn't feel like work per se.
Awesome.
So I definitely enjoy helping the kids and teaching them a few things about basketball.
Oh, awesome. So I see in the back you have some stuff there. Are those I'm assuming those are your products?
Share with us what you have.
Yeah. This so the line that we have here are our essential line. And this is just a very a small niche of the products that we have. But this is a black set with the bra and the shorts. And then over behind Chaz's back is our crop top. But we have ventured out into a wide range of sports bras, leggings in different colors and patterns, as well as male activewear shorts and joggers. I think our joggers for the males are one of the best selling for the males. Shorts, t-shirts, long sleeve t-shirts for the males as well. And we're kind of branching out into more stylish stuff because we're also in Canada. So we're coming out with vests for more colder months, the winter months, and more the fall and spring months. And then also in the summer, we come out with our shorts. So because we live in Canada, it's very different to Antigua where there's one season, which is the summer. But here, we're always coming out with these new ideas because as the year moves on, the weather's changing, the styles are changing. So we're always coming out with new styles and new products so that we can keep up with the weather changes as well as just keep up with the times too, right?
That is amazing.
Do you offer your products to the older folks?
We do. So we do have a wide range of sizing. And then we also have a wide range, or we're trying to now in our new line, in versatility. So not just the, small and revealing, bras. I mean, it really started with me only trying out certain bras, but I realized that my chest and my body structure is not the same as other people. And so what I do now is whenever we sample or we're trying new things, I'm sending for my mom to try on. I'm sending for other women of different sizes to also try on. So we're able to really capture different body sizes, shapes,
Awesome.
styles, because maybe you don't want to be wearing a very tight shirt. Maybe you want a loose shirt. So we're actually coming out with loose shirts in the summer, something more baggy, more loose fitting. And so we definitely try to keep up not only with the styles, but also try to have a wide range of fitting things so people can really find a product that works well for them in the business. Yeah.
I am so proud of you all.
Yes.
At your young age, you have a business.
And growing and a
successful
plan,
one.
most importantly.
Yeah.
But let me ask you, Chaz and Shayna.
Yeah.
Let's talk about some of the challenges that you faced. What would you say are some of maybe the top 3 challenges that you faced throughout how long have you had the business? 2-3 years?
2 and a bit. We started in 2019.
Oh, you guys have made amazing progress in 2 years.
Exactly.
So yes, tell me a bit about your, what are some of the challenges that people who like you are inspired to start their business, what can they expect?
That's a really good question. I think I'll definitely give a challenge. I'll leave the pandemic to Shayna because I know that was a big challenge. But I would say one thing that I found very challenging, coming from a small island of Antigua to come into Canada, and you have all these great ideas that you think in your mind and you want to actually try out. I think one of the most intimidating things that I found in my challenge was that I had these ideas, but to Daniel's point, like sometimes I was like, I wonder if anyone here is gonna like it. I wonder if it's gonna be looked upon as funny or not serious or whatever the case may be. So I was a bit timid and didn't want to expose myself or put myself out there. So I think for me personally, that was one of the biggest challenges. I know, for example, one of the huge challenge was COVID, and I know Shayna can expound on that a bit more.
You can also talk about it too.
You can do it.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, to Chaz's point, I think also what is important to say is like being an international as well in Canada, right?
Yeah.
And trying to find our own space here as international students in this really, much bigger city than Antigua. We got a lot of support and a lot of, backative, and we're home and everybody's embracing and opening up their arms to you because it's such a small island, right? And everybody's just, all up with one another and supportive of one another. But then coming here to a city where you don't really know many people and trying.
You're in Antigua. You're a big fish in a small pond.
Right? And you don't really know a lot of people. You're still trying to, get that support, or still trying to get sales, or still trying to push your business. But it's been awesome here too, because I feel like we've really gained a lot of support here in Halifax. But it was a challenge trying to integrate into the community being an international student. As I chatted too, the pandemic was a huge challenge because we started right before the onset of the pandemic, right? We started
in
2019, and then by March of the next year, COVID really started hitting Canada, which is where we are. So things are shutting down. You're not really able to reach out to your customers as you would like. And so we had to find a different way of how do we get to these people? How do we show our product? How do we show our business? How do we still make a name for ourselves? And so I think that although the pandemic was very difficult, it allowed us to sort of think in a different way of how do we run this business and navigate through COVID. And that was really moving online and developing an online website and starting up an Instagram account and gaining followers that way, and really trying to push on the social media and on the website side. And so I think that's taught us a couple things as well, like how to build a website. We did that by ourselves, right? We created ourselves. Reaching out to photographers. How do you get products to be photographed? Product placement. I think there's a lot of things that it forced us to learn new things and new, ways of pushing product. Like a lot of the videos is Chaz. He's taking those videos, right? He's making those reels. He's, putting together different ideas of how do we create this story and tell that through our social media. So Chaz runs the page, and it kind of, in a sense, kind of gave us and unlocked some new talents that I guess we didn't know that we had, of how do we navigate through this in like an online setting.
Just to add to Shayna's point, like looking back at it now in hindsight, it just makes us believe that, okay, sometimes you think that, okay, I can never do this. But once you try, you realize, hey, I can actually learn this stuff. Because before the pandemic, I would tell myself, like, I don't think I would ever be able to do a reel on Instagram or do all these other stuff that I haven't never had any interest in. But once you're hit with a challenge, it forces you now to be creative, think outside your box, and now try different and new things. And then you quickly realize that, hey, I actually kind of like this. It's not too bad. Or you find other interests that you actually like. So the pandemic, it was a big challenge. But in hindsight now, we look back and we like, it really actually helped us a lot.
Exactly.
That's awesome.
You guys aren't just thinking about the box, outside the box. You're outside the box, period. You jumped outside the box. That's amazing.
And inspiring.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, there's so
Such
many
determination.
who had so many challenges during COVID, and not many of them were able to pivot the way you did.
And so
That's
many businesses
really-
so many companies went out of business.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Great.
Wow.
All right. So let's hear from Danielle.
Yeah, Danielle, what are some of the challenges that you faced?
Well, I'll say my biggest challenge right now is that it's just me. I am the only employee for this business.
Scaling. Yeah,
I am
scaling your
the
business.
accountant. Yeah,
We get that, right, Dorit? We get that.
Oh my goodness.
right. I'm the accountant, the social media manager, the mail handler, everything in one, which can be a challenge at times, because sometimes I'll be so focused on making product that, I forget to post something on social media, or I haven't responded to an email, or, so sometimes, I have to kind of try to ensure that I'm balancing my time properly and effectively, because that can be a challenge, especially when you come in by yourself. It's great to have a partner. So I really admire Shayna and Chaz for going into business together. So I say that, if you are thinking about starting a business, being by yourself will pose its challenges, but the reward will be even greater. And I think and I guess another challenge as well for me, especially since it's just me, like whenever I've gotten, I guess larger orders, sometimes you have to be so meticulous and so attentive to details, because you can miss certain things, for me, for instance, I may have forgotten to label a cocoa butter jar or something, and it's not like a huge deal, but it's still a part of my marketing and a part of my product. So, I guess balancing growth and quality as well can pose its challenges. But I think in terms of, I know we're going to talk about where we want to go with our businesses. But scaling is definitely something that I have in mind that will definitely help me to overcome some of these things. So.
Right.
Yep, and definitely a big challenge for small businesses. How do you scale?
Yes.
How do you scale? But listen, this is a show about finance. We'll probably have to bring you guys back to talk about different segments, because this is just, you guys can both teach both businesses. You can literally start your own course as far as I'm concerned. But this is a show about finance. And so it's great to have a business. It's great to have the feedback, see the smiling faces, the joy you bring to people, the creativity. We know it. Running a business can be a lot of fun. It has its challenges. But at the end of the day, if you don't make money, it does not make sense. So with that in mind, Shayna and Chaz, tell us, what type of money management tools, whether formally or informally, do you rely on to help manage your business?
So when we started, I mean, as we said, which is great for like a good introduction, we started off with just a couple t-shirts and hoodies, and you know, but for me, my mom, she is an accountant, so already I was thinking when we started selling products, we have to find a way that we're just able to just document it, right? So I created an Excel spreadsheet from the jump where we were documenting every single product we ordered for inventory and every product that we sold. And in that Excel sheet, I had the prices for every product and how much we made, even if it was like a giveaway, if it was a free product, a discounted product. So we can already start seeing our profits coming in. And I think that's really where we started saying, hey, look, we have something, right? We had this Excel sheet. It's keep on growing because we're ordering more products, we're expanding. And this Excel sheet really kind of was our baby because it allowed us to see our growth on paper. And so that was just something that we had ourselves. And then as we continue expanding and as as the more you're ordering, the more you're scaling up, it does become really difficult for, just you one. I'm not an accountant. I'm not even a monies person, so a numbers person.
Well, you're doing well. I like the idea of the spreadsheet.
Yeah, I learned a lot through working the summers with my mom and the spreadsheets and how to create spreadsheets and functions and stuff like that. So that was super helpful. But as we started growing more and more, with Chaz being a student at St. Mary's, we're able to tap into the SMU, St. Mary's University Entrepreneurship Center, and they put us onto a bookkeeper. So that was very helpful.
Oh, fantastic.
We had a bookkeeper to help us with, managing that. And then in terms of other management tools, what we thought was super important was to separate personal and business, right? So we thought it was super important that we would open up our own business account, No Days Off Apparel business account. And so that we would have our own business account where we can see the money coming in and the money going out and have a card that's attached to that business account. So we can use that card and
to
make
help you track, yeah.
And that will help us track all the monies that's coming in and out of the business. And we thought it was super fundamental for us too, right? Because as young people, you might start a business, you make a little money, then you start spending that money on yourself, buying this, buying that, right? And it's easy to do because right? But we wanted to definitely separate out our own selves and our business. And we both work. So Chaz, as you said, as he said, he's working through the YMCA and that collaboration. And then I'm at school still and I'm doing a degree there and I have a stipend. So we're able to save on our own, but then also have the business stand on its own too. So I think those things were very fundamental and crucial for us while growing our business.
Awesome.
Wow.
And just to add to Shayna's point as well, I think us being young as well, it was very crucial for us to have a separate account because we're young. So every young person, we get money, we want to spend on buying this, we want to spend.
Of course, you have a lifestyle.
Discipline.
Yeah, it's about YOLO. You only live once. Yeah.
You only live once, right?
But Shayna, something you said that really resonated with me was the fact that your mom was an accountant. And because for Mother's Day, we're actually going to have some kids come on to talk to us about lessons they learned, financial lessons they learned from their moms. There's a lot written about that. Mothers who are good money managers, you get to influence generations because you pass it to your children. Hopefully something rubs off that they pass on to their children. And so we're going to be talking about that. You'd be a perfect person for that show. But, because, having a mother as an accountant, I think in contrast to how most of us grew up, where we didn't have parents who had great money management skills to begin with. So we just picked up the bad habits. So that's a very, very great point. And, you're very, very, I shouldn't say lucky, but you're very fortunate to have that kind of discipline that you could, you can revert to. Because sometimes our parents hand us these lessons. We don't pay them any mind until we need to pull these lessons out of our back pockets.
Right.
Isn't that the truth?
So Danielle, tell us about you. You are a one-man show.
Yes.
I can tell Shayna keeps Chaz in check and Chaz keeps Shayna in check. And, that's a healthy thing. That's, at least Danielle don't know what your status is, but you see the qualities that you need to look for in a partner. You know, it has to be someone who believes in the business. You know?
Yeah.
But tell us about any money management tools, whether formal or not, that you rely on to manage your business.
Yeah, I think similarly to what Shayna was saying, budgeting and expense tracking are key. And like for me, especially when I started, like, you know, budget is basically whatever you plan, your plan for your money, you know, what you plan to spend on. And sometimes it doesn't always go to plan. It doesn't always go as you hope, but you know, it serves as a solid guide. So you know, typically, like, let's say I'll say I'll spend, if I have $100, I'll spend 25 on labor, another 25 on raw materials, another 25 on fixed assets, and maybe the final 25 on marketing or something like that. And then when I actually go out to you know, source certain products, I might realize, okay, instead of 25, I need 30 for raw materials. So, you know, I might tell myself, okay, so where can I find space to kind of where can I find room to shift things around a bit? And, you know, maybe for this month, I don't need to spend 25 on marketing. I could probably lower it to 20 or something, so that will kind of give me some wiggle room. And just kind of going at it from that perspective, that point of view. Because you know, you it's nobody ever really wants to go over what their actual budget is for their business, because you know, you could get yourself in a lot of trouble that way. So
For sure.
kind of having a good plan, and you know, not beating yourself up if you do actually go over what you have planned. But it's important as well to, you know, track what the actual expenses are, you know, document what things cost, because you know, the economy is kind of crazy, and the raw materials are kind of, you know, going up and down. So you know, it's kind of like just having a solid idea of what you plan to spend, what you actually end up spending, and you know, keeping track of that, you know, on a weekly or monthly basis, or however often you need to do it. So
Nice.
That's
So
great.
what Danielle isn't telling you is that she's an accountant.
Oh my goodness, Danielle, you're holding out on us.
So
Because I'm wondering,
when I
this
hear
fixed
it,
assets talk and all
yes,
this.
when I hear it,
Oh my
about
God.
raw materials, I'm
I was
like,
going to ask her if her mother's an accountant too. Because I'm hearing fixed assets. I wouldn't even know where to start with that kind of stuff. My goodness, that is amazing. That's amazing.
yeah.
So,
Great.
folks, Megan, are there any questions? We've been
They
so
are.
involved
Oh my
with
goodness.
our guests. There's so much to share.
There are more
We
comments.
don't want to ignore our listeners. So let's take a little break and hear some comments. But to our guests, when we come back, we are going to ask the question which every guest on this show gets. Of course, this show is called Likkle, Byte Ideas, and we're about sharing ideas because we truly believe that there's always something to share. You know, we live such different lives. We think differently. We have such a diversity of skills. It's always good to hear other perspectives from people whose lives are a little different. And so we always ask our guests to share with us a Likkle idea. So we'll give you some moments to think about it while we read our questions and comments, and we'll come back to you to hear your Likkle idea. Hopefully it is something related to business. Even if it's not, we still want to hear it.
Right.
So Megan, let's hear what our guests, what our listeners and viewers have to say.
So I'm going to go through them, but the other thing I want to point out, Dorit, is we need to just squeeze in a little minute or two to just mention about our upcoming YOLO Summit.
Oh, absolutely. When we come back, we will talk about that.
Right. And I think we should have the video lined up as well. So we probably.
Well, you know what? Let's pass on the video for today because we can send everyone to our website.
Good point. Good point.
Yes.
And time is against us. Okay.
Yes.
So let's go to our comments. So Karen Clashing O'Reilly says, so proud of you, Danielle. Awesome. I'm proud of you too.
Thanks, Karen.
So this is from our aunt. She says, good afternoon to my dear nieces. I'm enjoying your group chat. I enjoy listening to your friendly talk. I am saying good day to my big sister, Miri, from Ma Fleming. So that's our mother's sister. Hi, Aunt Inga.
And I think she's related to Danielle too.
She is? Travis. That's true. Yeah. No, Daniel wouldn't know. Daniel wouldn't know.
Probably, you never know, but.
And then we have someone that knows Danielle and Chaz, and I believe Shayna too, Carolyn McCoy. So amazing how these young people have launched out. Isn't that the truth? I'm so proud of you, all of you. And then we have Danielle McCoy. She says, Bashful Body Care products have been my favorite addition to my skincare routine. So proud of you, Danielle. I need to get some of this Bashful Body Care stuff. And then we have Denise Armstrong, one of our regular guests. She said, it is inspiring how these young entrepreneurs have been able to overcome the challenges of starting a small business. Now, that is such a good point because
absolutely,
lots of people, they like the idea of starting a business, but they don't recognize that there are challenges. And you both have mentioned the challenges that you've had and you've overcome them. So that's great.
It's about consistency.
Consistency. And this person is Wonderversal. Truly inspiring show. I agree. Very, very inspiring. We have Karen again. Karen Clashing O'Reilly. It's really great to see young Antiguans doing amazing things for themselves. Kudos to No Days Off and Bashful Body Care. Kudos indeed. And I'm just going to tell Karen, I hear you have a business, so I'm coming to you as well. So
what is Karen's business?
She does cookies, I'm told. So
oh, nice.
Yeah. Oh, we have Pearline Baptist. Congratulations to all these young entrepreneurs. Really inspiring. Danielle, you know Pearline Baptist?
I think I might know who she is.
Okay. I think so too. So we've had all the kudos, no questions as yet. But I just want to echo everything that was said. Kudos to you. Very, very inspiring to not only start a business, but to get it to where you're at. So here's a question from Danielle McCoy. Do any of your businesses have plans to perhaps partner with schools or young people to teach or pass on your knowledge?
That's a good question.
That's a great question. I'll answer it first. And that's definitely in the pipeline. I think we definitely thought about it. We're actually in the process now of speaking with a local gymnastics team here that are going to the provincials very soon. And we want to partner with them in terms of providing their gear to showcase at the competition. We've also been working with a lot of the community kids as well in the community, helping them learn the game of basketball. And we do have plans to eventually branch out into the schools up here as well, providing them with great activewear to perform their sports of choice. Not only basketball, but also soccer, volleyball, football. So we definitely do have plans to keep branching off.
And I like that because when I think back of how No Days Off started, it was more of a motivational mantra. Mm-hmm. And perhaps if you get into the schools, you can do motivational talks.
Exactly.
So that would be nice. Wow.
And my business idea for you guys is you guys should probably think about how you can teach a course. There's so many, whether it's in person or Udemy or, something like that. These days with online resources, you can be in Canada and working with somebody in Transylvania, if an online course that merges, the linkages between sports, physical wellness, or even linking physical wellness with financial wellness, there's so much creativity out there. And in our last conference that we had someone who he has a whole learning, I wouldn't even call it a tool, that's beyond a tool, a whole learning method where he's a musician. He's actually from St. Croix, grew up in St. Croix, but now lives in New York. And he has, he links hip hop music to money management. So, it's just mind blowing how he connects with young people. Of course, because of his Caribbean background, we told him, we're going to need the Caribbean music on our show. And of course, he made that shift. But again, there's so many interesting ways to get your message across. So don't only focus on, just as an outsider, don't only focus on your accomplishments as far as the sports, the actual design part of it, the activewear. You guys actually have a great business management and financial story. So in putting your thoughts together, you may want to consider weaving in the money management financial aspect of it, because it's also a very, very powerful story.
Thank you very much for that idea.
I really appreciate that.
And on that note, we want to make sure that everyone, especially our young people, register for the YOLO Summit on June 5th. YOLO, of course, means you only live once. It's actually in the dictionary. Became a real word in 2012, I believe. But we have shifted the script, or we flipped the script. And instead of you only live once, we're saying youth opportunities, lessons, and outcomes. And the theme of it is money, which is maximizing opportunities now to empower the youth. So YOLO is about now and instant gratification. We believe money is about now. How can we empower the youth now? Coming out of COVID, all of the challenges, we're living in such different times. We had some young people on last week. They were teenagers, and they were talking about an emergency fund. And I said to Megan, an emergency fund? We didn't even know what that meant, but we were growing up. But, with COVID, younger people are very cognizant of emergencies and the need to plan for the unexpected. So what we see going on here is a whole shift in terms of mindset, culture, values, perspective. And so we want to, we're learning from you guys, but we want to make sure that we can do our part to help put the young people on the right path. So many young people may find themselves torn between, well, I have to live my life. I don't know how my life is going to be. We say, listen, you have one life to live. Make sure you manage your money right, because you only have one life to live. Do it right so you can make the right choices and begin to build your best future. Begin to plan for your best future. So again, go to our website, samuelfieldsconsulting.com. We actually have a QR code. We just don't have it right now, but we'll have it next week on camera. Register. Share the link with your friends. It's a free conference. We're going to have people like Chaz and Shayna are going to be a part of our innovation incubator. Same thing with Danielle. And we're going to have about 20 different businesses that they will be in the innovation incubator talking about their venture, talking about their ideas, and giving advice to their peers. So if you have a business and you want to be one of our innovators as well, reach out to us on our website or info@samuelfieldsconsulting.com. Or if you are thinking about it, you have some great ideas, we encourage you, share it with your friends. Again, it's June 5th. It's online. And of course, for young people, online chat and transacting online, that's your world. So we're keeping everything online because I think that's very reflective of the way you conduct business and how the world is going these days. So we encourage all of you to be a part of it. I think it's going to be great and an amazing time for everyone. But we have some time constraints. Megan, did you have a comment?
I was going to say that in addition to the innovation incubator, we are going to have lots of sessions on
Absolutely.
financial literacy, financial empowerment, and the way finance impacts so many areas of our lives, whether it's our mental health, whether it's our physical health. So it's going to be a day that's packed with lots of interesting sessions, interesting ways of meeting and networking with each other and learning about the various businesses that our young people have started. So go to our website and you get all the information there. But yes, we have time constraints. Just want to quickly get all the other comments out. We have from another regular, Althea Scantlebury. Great to see our young people leading the way. Kudos indeed. Thank you. We have, I'm not sure if it's Sherry or Cher, Miss Kelman. Great job. To no days off and bashful body care. Keep it up. There's another question here. We may not have the time to answer it. What advice would you give to someone who has a business but feels like persons always want free stuff? That's a problem. That's a problem.
There's something called, you know what I'll say to that person? Come to the conference. We're gonna have a speaker who's gonna be talking about financial frenemies.
Yes, and freedom. Yep, so true.
So
the frenemies, that's so true.
Frenemies that you encounter.
The ones you should avoid.
In managing, yes. So you need to, you will hear all about it on June 5th. How to manage some of these distractions that, take you off your crease when it comes to managing your finances.
And then our last comment is congrats to y'all. Blessings aplenty. Very inspiring indeed. Thank you so much. That's from Fanny King, another regular who's on our show.
Fanny is a regular.
Let's jump to the ideas.
We have some time. One last thing I wanted to say, and we're going to come to you, Chaz, because we know you guys have to leave. We also have a YOLO video contest. It's a contest where we give you 90 minutes to make a statement to whether you want to sing, be creative, but you pretty much create a video, very inspiring video, and post it on our website. Go to SamuelFieldsConsulting.com, go to our education and events page, and you'll see the YOLO video contest. All of the information is there. June 1st is the deadline. You have some time to think about it. Show us what you've got. We want some creativity. We know you guys have it in you.
And our last comment is from Abby McCoy. Congrats, friends. Okay,
thanks, Abby.
Let's jump into the ideas because we know Chaz and
Shayna and Chaz, what's your Likkle idea before you leave us?
Yeah, but
well, my idea is not like a grand idea, but I think like my thing would be to anyone that's starting a business, especially young people. I would suggest that for them to make some sort of commitment, whether it's $50, $100, whatever you can afford, and make it a plan. So what I did when I first started, I said, okay, I'm going to save X amount of money, let's say $50 a week for the next 6 months. And I know with life, things happen, hard times happen, but try to stay committed to it. And after the 6 months, just stay locked in. And after the 6 months, see what you've come up with and then use that money now and then start investing in what your plan is. I think if we stick to our plans, I definitely think it's definitely possible.
Awesome.
That's great.
I like that. It's a great idea.
Yeah.
I think for me, my Likkle idea would maybe go to Danielle. I really love your products. I love what you're talking about. And it shot in my head about my baby cousin who suffers from eczema. And so he has really a tough time, especially in the heat, with his eczema all over his skin and so on. his mom is having a hard time finding products that kind of work for his issue. And like she doesn't want to go into medicated products because he's quite young, like he's not even 2 years old. And I kind of recommended to her like a cocoa butter or something like that. So I think maybe an idea would to maybe research products or things that you can kind of include in your care line that can help people who might have that excessive dry skin or eczema, because I think it's something that will work really well, especially in Antigua. I don't know if there's a lot of places or things that you can get accessible to for your eczema and skin issues like that. And I know a lot of people who have it, and who are looking for like a good remedy for it and a natural remedy, maybe not something medicated. So I think it might be worth it. And I know there are a couple of businesses out there, I've seen them on Instagram, who kind of gear their products towards not curing it, but helping. And, so maybe you can have a line in there that kind of helps people who have eczema or some sort of skin irritation or dry skin or something like that. And I'm sure like just natural products, even the cocoa butter curd helps, but maybe you can incorporate something like in there that you can market towards that.
Yeah,
Awesome.
I like that.
That's great.
idea.
And you know what
Love
I'd like
it.
to add to that as well, Danielle, before we get to you. I don't know if you're blogging, but if you're not, you should be. There's so much to talk about with your combinations of various therapies, the medicinal value, the old wives' tales. A lot of these, I remember I was telling her, Megan, before you came on, I remember Mommy using tomato leaves for something. Like, I can't remember what it was. We were young, but she would rub tomato leaves and you could feel the stinging, and then, stinging Likkle
Oh,
has a lot of, medicinal properties as well. So I'm sure you've done a lot of the research, Danielle, and this is how you put your products together. But if you can start blogging, even on your own website, and then begin to look for blogging opportunities with other businesses, publications that are out there, even reaching out to the local newspapers in Antigua, send
idea.
something to Antigua Newsroom to, and just profile your business and what you have to say. There are a lot of people. Start a following. There are people who are into this. So definitely consider blogging. It's a very, very cost-effective way of reaching new prospects and growing your market.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it's time for your little idea.
So my little idea is kind of threefold. So I would say know your worth. Understand that you have value, whatever it is that you want to do, and find a way to give back or pour into those around you. And I say all of that because when you go into business, like a lot of people are not going to understand like why you're selling a soap for $7, $8, $9. They're like, I can go elsewhere and get this cheaper. Or if you're selling like for no days off, like I don't know, I'm sure people have come up to y'all and say, oh, I can find better quality things elsewhere.
Much cheaper.
So like understand, like, okay, that's fine, but what I have to offer is still worthy and it's still valuable, whatever it is that you're doing. And I also think it's important to, in some way, shape or fashion, to give back to the community. I really like that like Chaz and Sheena have started working with kids, and I think like that's it's so important for another generation to sort of come in and understand and feel like a part of what you're doing. And even Dorit, to your point about creating a blog, like one of my downstream plans is to have somewhat of a newsletter, like maybe like a virtual newsletter, giving
That would be amazing.
advice. Yeah, giving
If you need
advice.
some help, I'd be willing to show you, to provide some
Yeah.
guidance. It's not as hard as it's not as difficult and time consuming as people
As
think.
people
There's a
think, yeah.
system. You guys are young and bright. You can figure it out.
Yeah. 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 So I always think, it's so important because we're all here to help each other. We can't really do anything completely on our own. So, if you can in some way, try to try to give back or pour into other people or a cause or something that you feel passionate about. So
Wow,
That is
that is
amazing. I have
that's
had so much
amazing.
fun talking to you guys. You give me hope. I'm gonna have to live vicariously through you guys. Chaz and
So
Shayna, you
so
guys,
we
I know
can
you have
go
to run.
just no, they can stay for just a little bit more, and
Okay,
there are a few more
comments.
comments on the
Before
board.
you get to the comments, Chaz and Shayna, you guys should be blogging too. You have such a story to tell. You have
Absolutely.
so much to share, both
And the
from the
motivation part, I think, is just going to me, that's what I think is going to be the icing. The fact that No Days Off stands for something that
yes,
motivates you even outside of sports.
Right.
yeah. I see so many possibilities,
Yeah.
and once you get a following going, who knows how this will mushroom. There's so many, you guys are minorities. There's so many, in a place like Canada. I'm sure there are newspapers that would focus on you. I know certainly here in the United States, there's a particular contact I will pass on to you guys.
Mm-hmm.
But there are people spotlighting minorities who are starting businesses because it's a rare phenomenon,
yeah.
especially at your age, to have a business that survived COVID and with all the possibilities that you've laid out. So, you guys, again, you guys are all bright, sharp people. Um, you have a personal life to balance with your professional life, and some of you are in school. But let me just congratulate all of you. You're doing such a phenomenal job. I am so proud to even be interviewing you today, and to be able to learn more about your journey. But Megan, take it back.
Okay, so we have a comment and a question. Omari B says, I love everything I've heard and I'm proud of everyone. How do all of you deal with expansion coming from someone looking to branch out with their business themselves?
You know
I
what
think
I'll say
that's a
to Omari?
question.
Megan, hold that thought. What I'll say to Omari, all of these young people are going to take the virtual stage on June 5th.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
Questions of this nature, we will address all of them in the right format where you have the opportunity to engage with them one on one. Our
Incubation.
innovation incubator will be open for several hours, maybe even several days. So you will have direct access to them to cultivate these types of relationships. So thank you for your question, but come back on June 5th where we can go into these questions in greater depth.
Heather Brown says, love that, Danielle. Definitely know your worth. And I loved what you said there because sometimes we don't recognize our worth and we water ourselves down. And then from Noise Board, which is a small business we're going to have to tap into and get on our program, he says, #day, no days off.
Days off.
Noise board. I like that name.
Yes. And Heather Brown says, shout out to Shayna and Chaz. Proud of you.
Thank
Thanks a
you.
lot.
And then another comment from Vincent Jarvis. Wonderful to listen to you guys. I wish you all the best in your endeavors.
Thank you.
Wow. Great. Thank you so much. This has been awesome. So one other thing I wanted to say is that I have a little idea that I wanted to share with you both. And it has to do with reaching out, kind of similar-ish to what Danielle was saying, but don't be afraid to ask for help. So she was speaking about reaching back out into your community, but don't be afraid to ask for help because sometimes running a business can get daunting. It can be tough and you're both doing other things. So the business is not your only thing. Chaz and Shayna, you're in school and you're running your business. Danielle, you're working full time and you're running your business. There are going to be times when it's going to be too much. Don't be afraid to reach out, whether it's the family or close friends, to ask for help because we got to take care of ourselves. We got to take care of our mental health. So remember to reach out whenever you need the help.
Okay, great. Well, I think we've covered most of the housekeeping issues. I want to invite everyone to come back next Thursday. We're going to have a special edition next Thursday. If you missed last Thursday, you need to go back to YouTube. And to everyone, like us on Facebook, go to our YouTube page, and you can either catch up on this episode or previous episodes. Of course, remember to subscribe, hit the bell so that when we post new stuff, you'll get the notification. But just to recap, last week we had some amazing teenagers between the ages of 13 and 15. And they shared with us, their ideas on saving and money management. Chaz, get this. There was a 13-year-old boy. Not only is he a part of a box, he runs the box. You ever hear anything like that? He runs the box. I was blown away.
Yeah, they were awesome.
So, and he can't afford a whole box hand. He goes for a half of the box hand, but he's the administrator of the box. I was telling Gabby, my daughter, about it. She doesn't even know what a box is. Like, Mom, what are you talking about? So, I mean, it is just amazing. But we're going to bring these young people back next Thursday. It will be the Thursday before Mother's Day, and they're actually going to discuss with us lessons that they learned from their mother, financial lessons. So we invite everyone to come back next Thursday. It's going to be a special edition. We're going to look at mothers and the role that mothers play in influencing the financial habits of not only their children, but for generations to come. And for many of us who grew up in the Caribbean, we know now that most of us have traveled, we're more educated, we now know what we didn't know. And our parents could only give us what they knew. So I think the onus is on us to ensure that we empower the next generation, and where possible, make sure that we provide them with good financial education, guidance, and just the wherewithal to make better decisions than we did. So come back next week, Thursday at 5. It's a special Mother's Day edition. We also want you to submit to us at info@samuelfieldsconsultant.com any financial lessons that you learned from your mother. We will be reading those lessons on our show so that we can all learn from everyone's Likkle ideas. So it's been an amazing show. We want to thank you for spending the last hour with us. We want to wish our amazing young people the very best. You guys are brave, courageous, admirable, dedicated, determined. We are rooting for you, and we know that you guys are going to be even bigger successes than you are right now. We have lots of admiration for you. And so thank you for sharing your story. Believe it or not, you inspired someone somewhere listening to this.
You inspired me. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Both of you, or three of you, the three of you.
I'm seriously thinking that I don't need to take any more days off, but that's another story. Yep. And Danielle, we can't call you Bashful Danielle anymore.
Exactly.
You're amazing on the show.
Exactly. Thank you so much. I really enjoyed this.
I certainly did.
Thank you guys so much for having us. We really appreciate it.
It's amazing.
Thank you for having me as well.
Yeah. And we have to have you back. But listen, we know you all have busy lives. We wish you the best. Everyone have a great evening, a great weekend, and we'll see you all soon. Hopefully we'll see you back next week. Have a great evening, everyone.
Bye, everyone.